What's going on, gentlemen? Tonight is a moment for self-reflection. Matter of fact, let's shed a little light on this subject. I could have been a predator. And I am a little sympathetic to R. Kelly. I know that sounds really, really crazy.
But why though?
But hear me out. I guess I need to start with what I've done.
Why would that matter?
I was doing my Craigslist protocols,
correlate?
hot and heavy,
That's very
I would
suspect.
get a ton of high school girls answering my ads. And typically, I ignored them.
As you should.
Because even though I have a similar appetite to R. Kelly, I like young women. But I don't like children.
Not that young.
But this is how a child tricked me.
Nope.
Typically, they would be young. There would be lots of signs that this girl was very, very young. And I would just ignore them. Then this one girl, she answered the ad. We started to talk, and she was an exceptionally mature 17-year-old. Let me say this again. This chick was 17. Her conversation was different. She actually was a hairdresser, and she answered my ad, and I fucked her. And oh my God, she had these amazingly firm double D titties. That should have been my clue. Because
How was that a
when
clue,
she would
though?
lay on her back, they would stand up. And they were not fake titties. That should have been my clue.
That's just
But, I was
development.
caught up in the delicious pussy, and she did everything I wanted her to do. Then, one of the things that I would do is I would do social media search on all my chicks, just out of curiosity. So I'm like doing my social media search, and I find her Facebook page, and I see her with her high school friends. And I'm like, oh, shit. So I call her up, and I ask her, because, she told me she was 21. That's what she told me. And I was like, serious question. And at this time, I had fucked this chick 10, 15 times. And
Come
you
again?
cannot unfuck a chick. You can't unfuck her. And I was like, I need you to tell me something. How old are you? And then she got very silent, and she said, I'll be 18 in 4 months. Then she also said, the age of consent in Georgia is 16, so you're good. And I'm like, so she comes over, and we have this conversation. Because she was everything that I liked. I like women who 5'3", she was 5'2". She had huge titties, little waist, fat ass, pretty toes. She was my prototype, even though she was extremely young. And you know what I kept doing? I kept fucking her. I kept fucking her because I was like, at this point, I had fucked her 15 times. And it was just like, the crime was done. So I just kept fucking her from she was 17 to 22. And R. Kelly and I are similar, but we're very different. Because I have safeguards. I know when I'm getting out of control. And I kind of ran analysis on this. And she was older. Her parents weren't breathing down her neck. And this is how a lot of young girls end up with older dudes.
This video was going to
Their
work
parents
against
are
him.
not heavily involved in their lives.
It's going to work
where they have the
against
time
him
and the freedom
in
to
many
get away
ways.
with this stuff. And her parents didn't check her. She'd go out, she'd spend the night out. Her parents were like, she came home alive, cool. Her parents were not on her. So I didn't have to worry about catching a charge from the parents. And once again, we just kept doing our thing. From 17 to 22,
Why would one
I
ever
fucked
need
this
to worry
chick for
about
5
catching a
years.
charge?
And I ain't ashamed at it at all. She was willing. She wanted it. And here we come to R. Kelly. R. Kelly is being portrayed as a predator, right? Did he hold a gun to these women's heads? Years and years ago, back before the internet, I saw the R. Kelly tape. If you remember, there was a VHS tape that was sold around in barbershops, and it was him. It was him. He was peeing on this girl. He was having sex with her. It was 100% him. And this is where R. Kelly went wrong. R. Kelly was a good-looking man. R. Kelly had fame. R. Kelly was rich, and he was reckless. See, he has that appetite. And I'm going to try to explain this appetite to you guys who don't have this appetite. Because the normal man doesn't have this appetite.
I definitely don't have this appetite.
There is something special.
I am weird, but not weird
about
like that.
Fucking a young girl who's doesn't have a lot of miles on her. She doesn't have a lot of experience.
I'm funny weird, but not
remember
creepy weird.
This chick, she was 22, and she did not have a lot of sexual experience when we started messing around. And I pulled out my dick, and she was like, "You think that's gonna fit?" So I knew that this girl had not had a lot of sexual experience. And there is something special about fucking a chick who doesn't have a lot of sexual experience.
Cut the video.
Everything you do to her is fun. It's all brand new. And if you've got that type of appetite, it can be insatiable. Like, R. Kelly could have had the baddest adult chicks he wanted. But R. Kelly had that appetite. And this appetite could be the downfall of many, many men. Because, you know, I'm not judging because I'm in a part of the kinky community. But R. Kelly's allowed his appetite to literally wreck his life.
I have a lot of kinks, but
because once you get into orchestrating a trafficking syndicate, what does this mean? R. Kelly was having other people find and vet girls for him. And that's when it got out of control. This is the reason that I never got caught.
Can help with this
I never brought anyone
at least before it
else
kicks off
into my circus, so to speak.
Circus?
When I was doing it, was just me and the girls. Never ever brought anyone else in the circus. But here's my problem. He's being portrayed as a predator, right? Here's the thing. Remember when I started this video and I told you I had all these high school girls answering my Craigslist ads? Did I have a gun to their head? Did I ask them to reply to my ads?
Technically, no.
They were searching this out.
If a kid is searching for drugs,
this is why I have a problem with the predator label. Because they were willing participants in the dynamic. I can tell you, I remember this one girl who answered my ad, and she was 15 years old. 15 years old. We were talking and stuff, and I knew I was never going to meet this chick. I was just talk to her, and she sent me dirty pictures. She was running 100 miles an hour in that direction. And I'm quite sure that she hooked up with some older men. You hear of girls who are 15, 16, 17-year-old hooking up with 30, 40-year-old men. You know how common that is? Let me tell you something that happened. And
killing children is common.
It's kind of out there.
I believe that argument is flawed.
I was running my ads, and I had this woman who was a mother. And she was like, "Are you a black bull?" And I was just like, "Yes, I am." And she says, "I have 2 daughters, and I want to properly train them. I want you, in the future, we may actually breed them." See, if you guys don't know, there's a whole the sexual underground. Shout out to Ron Wills.
Yes, I know about.
There's
the
a
kink.
whole sexual underground of white women who love having sex with black dudes.
I know, but it's
and
like
they really love having sex with black dudes with
okay,
big
but
dicks.
I hope they're not underage.
And once again,
trying to justify it by bringing up
so
a kink.
she and I was sitting there like, this can't be real. So she sends me photos of her daughters who are 16 and 17. And they're pretty frisky looking. So I play along. So I go to her house, and the mom was hot. And I have a conversation with her, and I was like, so what do you want to do? And she says, it is the white woman's place to be the sexual fuck toy of the black man. And I was like, really? And she said, yes. And you know what I told this woman? She was about 40-ish, 45, 46, blonde, green-eyed, nice rack on her. And I said, bitch, get on your knees. And you know what she did? She got on her knees. And I took my dick out and I fucked her throat. And I was like, now this is what's funny. Her daughters were in the room.
Yeah, we're done.
Let me say that again.
We're done here.
Her daughters were in the room.
Is it appealing because of how?
So I fucked her throat.
Of how wrong
then
it
I
is
told
or
her to
something?
stand up and then strip butt naked. And then I fucked her on the sofa. And her daughters were on the sofa watching the whole thing.
Of course, with most of these things, there can be other people involved, though. So.
And she was like, this is how you take that big black dick, girls. This is how you do it.
All right.
And I'm just sitting there like, is this fucking real?
I'm watching this video.
So I'm fucking the mom.
Thing.
Then the mom's like, come over here. And she calls her girls' names. And then she's like, get on your knees. And then she put my dick in her daughter's mouth. I mean, I almost nutted. It was like, because if you're kinky, this is like the epitome. This is the high level of kinkiness. And then she had the other daughter come over and suck my dick.
Not illegal kinks, not with like underage people though, but.
And then, essentially,
like
I was fucking all three of them for about 5 or 6 years. I would go over, I would have the mom, and I would have them greet me butt ass naked. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. When people say predator, I'm like, I'm trying to give you guys the other side of the dynamic. I'm trying to give you the other side of what's out there. And I personally don't think these girls were victims. I don't think R. Kelly's a predator. He has an appetite.
Someone can be
that he allowed his appetite
even towards an adult
to get in the way of his life.
A woman can be a predator.
So he's guilty of having that appetite, but I don't think he's a predator because when you go out and you get a young girl and you ask her to have sex and she does it,
I don't know
without
about that
a gun
situation,
to her head,
but
like,
forcing is definitely a predator.
This whole situation with the mom and the two daughters, I didn't have to do nothing except show up with a hard dick. That's all I had to do was just show up. And they would service me. I remember one Sunday, I fucked all three of them. I fucked the mom, I fucked the daughters. And the youngest one was really, really fucking tight. And her mom was like, yeah, we got to open up that pussy. And I mean, I was just sitting there fucking her. And her mom was like, that's it, take that dick, take that dick.
What?
And in the beginning, both of the girls were virgins. I took their virginity. And the young one, in the beginning, it used to hurt her.
Virginity?
And she was like, it hurts, Mom, it hurts. That's such a big dick, it hurts. And then after a few times, and I loosened up that pussy, then she started getting into it. Then she turned, to this day, this girl is a bona fide black cock slut freak. Whoever she's fucking right now is very happy. Very, very happy. So, once again, I don't believe R. Kelly's a predator. I think he has an appetite.
Yum.
That got him in trouble because he could not control. Because here's the thing, and I forget the billionaire who was running the sexual trafficking. I forget his name. I could see him. He was a blonde, white guy. He had that same appetite.
Yum.
Now, I fucked that young girl, 17-year-old, the mom and her daughters, and that was, and there was a few more, but I did not look or hunt or subscribe to those young girls. My perfect age range was like 24 to about 34. That was where I operated quite a bit. But I'm here to tell you that, especially with the billionaire, these girls would go out and recruit girls, and they were adults. They were 100% aware of what they're doing. They were like, I am going to get this girl so she can have sex with this old billionaire. She knew there was no gun to her head, and they were stuffing her palms with cash. How is she a victim? How is he a predator? And this is one of the things that, I could be considered a predator because I've had a lot of sex with a lot of women. I could be considered a womanizer because I like slinging the dick. So, guys, R. Kelly, he went too far. He brought other people in. He had an organization. They probably got him for trafficking and all this other stuff. I never went nowhere near that level. I never had anyone go out and find girls for me. Never did that. I did all my own work. And this is one of the reasons I never got in trouble. I remember the mother and the two daughters. And one Saturday, I go over there, and the mother and the oldest one are out, and just the young one, right? So I'm talking to her and everything, and next thing you know, I take her titties out, start sucking on her titties and stuff, and I fuck her. And this is the first time I fucked her and she came. And it blew her mind. It blew her mind. So I understand R. Kelly on a deeper level. And once again, did he commit these crimes? I would say, yes, he had sex with young women. I would say these young women were complicit. They were willing because he was R. Kelly. I'm here to tell you guys, it is not that hard for an older man to get a very young girl. It's not that hard at all. There are many girls out there who are looking for older men. Looking, searching, hunting for older men. And they're 14, 15, 16. And they have no problem taking the dick from a 25, 35, or even a 45-year-old man. None whatsoever. And part of this is, if R. Kelly wasn't R. Kelly, I don't think none of this would have went down. I feel that R. Kelly pissed off the wrong person. I don't know what he did, but he pissed off the wrong person, and that launched this investigation.
More like piss
because
on.
I saw this tape of R. Kelly pissing on this girl.
I don't know
in
about
2000.
that because I wasn't born.
It was like 2000, maybe 2002.
I was a little baby.
I saw this tape. It was him.
So I don't know much about that.
And he's had this appetite,
a predator.
since Aaliyah. And I personally don't think there's anything wrong with older guys liking younger girls. Because at the time he was with Aaliyah, I think he was 21 and she was 16. To me, that's not a really big difference. But R. Kelly had that appetite. He had that appetite. And that appetite can ruin you. I have somewhat of an appetite, but I have limits. There's just certain things I'm not going to do. There's just certain boundaries I'm not going to cross.
I have limits, like everyone realistically
essentially,
has limits.
I conducted my fuckery in the safe zone. I did stuff I knew I could get away with.
Why would you need to get away with it?
Like, there was this one girl, and she was super cute, and then I did my research on her and saw her pictures of her with her mom and dad, which means her parents were very much involved in her life. And that right there would have been the danger zone, because this is how it happens. She comes over, we fuck, she goes home, her mom and dad press her. He's like, I fucked this old man. And next thing you know, mom and dad call the police. Police knocking at your door. That's how that goes down. So I never put myself in the crosshairs of the danger zone. And it really wasn't in comparison to the number of women. It wasn't a lot. But I can tell you, young pussy can be fucking amazing. When you stick your dick in some pussy they ain't never had a dick in it before.
How young though?
Woo! It's so tight, it's so warm, it's so snug. And I feel that the R. Kellys, and once again, this white billionaire, put his name in the comments because I know y'all gonna Google him. And I feel that as a man, you have to know what you can get away with and what you can do and what you can't. And once again, I feel that R. Kelly pissed someone off. Because if R. Kelly was just Robert, the truck driver, it never, even if he did all of these things, he would have never went to jail. Never would have happened. Because he was R. Kelly, there was something he did. There's someone in power he pissed off. And that's why, because the thing is, they went after him for years and years and years. They were after him like a dog on a bone. They were after him. And there was a reason they were after him. Because what R. Kelly did happens every damn day. Right now, there's some old dude fucking a teenager. Right now.
There's someone selling drugs to a teenager.
Now, there is some old dude sliding the sausage up in some young pussy right now.
I believe that.
This is how common it is.
I believe that
it is
angle
a common
moot.
thing
It's
in America.
Point.
And don't even talk about the rest of the world. The rest of the world, hands up, just let that go. But if I had allowed my appetite to get out of hand, I could have been in trouble. And I consciously knew what I was doing, and I got like this sixth sense, right? That lets me know when something's not cool is about to happen. And there was just certain chicks who would answer, and they were tasty, they were beautiful. They would send me photos of their titties and their pussy and all this other stuff. And I would just like, nope, not that one. That's the danger zone. That is the danger zone. That is the danger zone. That is the danger zone. And I never messed with those chicks. If a girl was young and she was halfway close to her parents, you could be looking at jail time, because what they're going to do, like when they're with you, they're going to fold, they're going to take the dick, they're going to do all this and stuff. And when mom and dad start putting the heat on them, they're going to fold like a cheap sheet. And they're like, and this is what we did. And the next thing you know, mom and dad are calling 911. Because some old man defiled their young daughter. Some old man put his mature penis up in her immature pussy. And we can't have that. We can't have that. So you cannot be messing with girls who have intensive parental contact. You can't be messing with them. And I feel, now, once again, there are so many girls out here, like these pimps. These girls are looking for a daddy, and these pimps serve as a daddy figure. This is like, I'm telling you, sometimes they'll get them hooked on drugs. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes a pimp just has to snap his fingers, and this girl will do whatever he wants her to do because she's looking for daddy. She's looking for daddy. So it really depends upon who you are and how you look at this. But I personally don't think R. Kelly's a predator. I feel that he has a voracious appetite. He has a certain type. It is illegal.
Off.
It's underage. And he allowed that appetite to literally ruin his life, because I guarantee you, R. Kelly knows who's after him. And once he figured out that someone was after him, he should have hit the chill pill, but he didn't. He kept going and kept going and kept going, and they kept after him and they kept after him, and now he's going to jail. So I could have been a predator. Same energy, same appetite, except I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody. That's why I was able to do this stuff and get away with it, because I'm a nobody. But if I was an R. Kelly or this billionaire dude, or if I was someone like that, you best believe they would have been on my ass. How dare you be rich, famous, handsome, and be fucking young pussy? How dare you? How dare you do what I want to do, but I can't do because I'm not in your position? How dare you? So, guys, I'm getting ready to do some more training. I'm getting ready to be more active on this channel. So be looking out for that. Hopefully you enjoyed this expose. Shout out to Ron Wills. Shout out to Alan Roger Curry. Those dudes know me very well. So that's all I got for you guys. I will see you in the next one.
So, what's funny is that I actually remember watching this guy back in like 2016 when I was in high school and I got into entrepreneurship. It was like financial advice. I forget the name of this guy's channel, but he uploaded this video right here on a smaller, newer, alternative channel. Gee, I wonder why. Let's think about why, you know? Maybe if you're doing something that could get you in trouble, maybe don't post it on the internet. I don't know. Just a thought, man. But somebody can like a woman, and as such you will start talking to them. We can talk about like the gray area between ages as far as under 18. For example, if you're 18 and your girlfriend is actually, let's find an uncommon one. The girl is 18 and she turns 19, right? And the boy is 17, but he turns 18 in the next month. Obviously things like that, it can fluctuate, but I don't know, it's just more weird when you're like more advanced in age. You know, you can also be in coalition with other people to get that organized, just as he had mentioned. But yeah, it's very interesting. And I do believe that it was a moot point that he brought up, which was that, it's common, because, you know, a lot of things can be common. It doesn't necessarily justify said actions. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I do remember watching this person, and it's weird. I don't know about like women being horny. I guess I haven't met women who are that horny, or that weird, who will like put their daughters on. Obviously that wasn't necessarily right. Some people may consider it right, but I don't know. I feel like people can collaborate in a lot of ways that are like, you know, not conducive. I don't know. I just feel like autonomy is like a good thing to have on all sides. But yeah, I don't quite agree with this. But like that's how people can like justify certain things, especially if there's like a gray area. I don't exactly have a solid consensus on like when it becomes forceful, but when you're saying things like when the parent's not involved, or using the phrase like get away with it, like, I mean, if you're doing something unless you're doing something that, as Jordan Peterson would call, morally reprehensible, one would not need to postulate on how they could get away with said thing. But yeah, I'm out. See ya. Make sure you guys stay happy, get therapy if you have any problems, and don't do crime. Therapy can always be a good way. Prevention is 1,000 times better than trying to solve something after it's already happened. But as always, guys, stay happy, stay positive, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below.